Hey, what's going on YouTube? Optical 20 here for a gear review, not any collectibles right now. This time it's Manfrotto. So basically these are the gadgets that I use to shoot my reviews. I used to just use a typical fluid head, but it has a lot of constraints. So sometimes you see my videos kind of jerky. This one is, so I decided to just plunge in, and I know it's expensive, but you get what you pay for on Manfrotto. I already have their tripod, so I figure I'm gonna get this MHXPRO-2W. So you have several options when it comes to fluid heads. This one comes with two quick release adapter, so it is pretty awesome when you have other, let's say a slider or something like, let's say a gimbal, so you can just quick release it back and forth, so you don't have to unscrew it on the back. So opening up this package, this particular brand or model cost me around $120, I believe, but there's more expensive than this, believe it or not, for just a fluid head. Now if you're watching this and hopefully you are trying to get into videography, because this is more for video than photo. So as you know, I shoot a lot of reviews and everything, so I don't know if you noticed the difference. I hope you did, that my panning up and down the tilt is a lot smoother now. So you can see here, you can select the telephoto lens that you have, some short ones, or you have a long lens, so it's up to you, the tension. But honestly, I don't really use them that much. And this one is the handle, so you can select them if you're left-handed or right-handed. You can choose either side, so it is really up to you and how you use it. You can take it off and move it on the other side if you want to do so, and it's pretty easy. You just screw it back and forth like so. And you see that lever, the black lever that you saw earlier, that's also for the tension, for the fluid. So this one, this is the quick release plate. You just press down and take it off, and there you go. I have another Manfrotto, it's a photography, it's not a fluid head, but it also fits in here. So depending on what model you get, for the most part it does fit, and it does come with this screw and at the bottom. So this is what you're gonna put into your tripod. So now this is the lever that I showed you earlier. So it's kind of like a dial, so it kind of releases or stiffens up your fluid head. So it does release the fluid depending on how you want it, if you want it stiff or not. So this is how it looks like, inserted in my Manfrotto 190 Go. This is the original head that it came with. This is not a fluid head, this is mostly for photography. So you can see there, that's the thread. So it does it does have the Manfrotto logo inside. I just noticed that now. I don't normally take it off, but yeah, so I highly suggest using a Manfrotto tripod if you could, because it's sturdy, so you don't want your camera sitting on a cheapo tripod. However, I did use a cheapo tripod for about 2 years or so while filming YouTube, so it does work. It's not the most ideal situation, but it does work. So if you don't have the budget now, at least get the fluid head. That's what I would suggest. I have been using the Dolica fluid head for the longest time, until I just upgraded maybe just this year. Not quite sure when. I think it's around June or July. It worked out pretty well. Then I did some research, but as you can see here, once you lock it down, it is locked down, and it's pretty fluid once you kind of release it. And it depends on how loose you want it to be, as I said earlier. And on the other side, you can turn the dial on, but I mostly rely on the selector. As you can see here, that's a fairly larger lens. This is the 24-105, I believe 105, yes, lens from Canon L series. So that's pretty heavy. As you can see here, I'm turning the dial on and off. So if you loosen it enough, you can move it with just one finger, honestly. So that's how smooth your panning could be. You can see here left and right. So you still need, if you want to achieve some effects, I would still recommend using a slider. But at the same time, if you're just going back and forth here, as you can see, we're gonna try to loosen this up or stiffen it. There you go. pretty smooth, so it would create some pretty awesome shots. You know, I don't have any samples, I forgot to do that, but you get the idea. So this is the old setup that I have, the Dolica, or I don't know how to pronounce this, ST600. You know, as you can see, it's a bit jerky. The one that I have right now, I think it's still the Dolica that I'm using, but you can just unscrew it, and this is what I used to do for the longest time, and it still works. You know, honestly, if you don't have budget, like I mentioned earlier, you don't really need this. It would make your life a lot easier, but if you don't, you know, those other fluid heads served me for a good 2-3 years, so you know, can't really say bad things about them either. This is just a whole lot better and made my life so much better. And as you can see, it does fit. However, this fluid head is also really heavy, so you gotta be careful when inputting them, because you gotta add the weight of the camera as well. So keep that in mind. Now, if you're having like this tripod is a bit on the lighter side, it's made out of plastic, unlike my Manfrotto 190 Go. It's made out of, I believe that's aluminum, so it's a lot, you know, see, it's not that secured. So added the weight of this and the camera, you know, you might be in for a disaster there. But that should be it, guys. So this is the Xpro fluid head from Manfrotto. There's another version of this where it's not a quick release plate, but those kind of plates that you see for you know, like stabilizers and whatnot. But I chose this so I can go back and forth between photography and video. So thank you for watching, guys. Please like and subscribe to my videos and to my channel, and follow me on Instagram